Okay, so today I've got to try and fix or bodge my pipe bender. I was in the middle of a job making the legs for these tables that I'm making, and it sprung a leak. I carried on for a while, but it was just leaking so much that I thought I'm going to have to try and fix it. So I took it apart to try and see what the seals were like, and the seal, or I don't know whether it is the seal, the packing just disintegrated. So I went to my local bearing seal place. They'd never seen anything like it, so I'm struggling a bit. I've tried to get onto the company that make it. They're in Germany. It's Corpus Christi, so I think they're all off for God knows how long, so I've had no reply from them, and I really need to get this job done, so I'm going to try and bodge it just for long enough to get me to finish the job. So let's have a look at what the problem is. Right, so there's the bender, and as you can see I've got it apart. That's the attaches to the piston. Now in here, that's where the piston goes, and right in that lip there's a seal, and then on top of that was, as I say, I don't know what it was, it's like some sort of compression stuff, and then on top of that there's a ring that screws down and pushes it all down onto the piston. So what we're going to do, or try to do, I went to the bearing and seal place. I bought this, some O-ring material, and I've made up a series of O-rings. I'll show you them in a minute, but I think there's 4 in there, different sizes. Some going from tight in the actual bore to loose in the bore and tight on the piston, because I'm not quite sure which way round it's going to need to be. And then to go on top of it, to make the actual packer, come off, can't get this off. Anyway, what I've done is, hang on, let me put the camera down. Right, this container is just one of those things you get disposable gloves in for, like, from my wife when she's dyeing her hair. You get these little packets, and I always keep them. They're sort of quite handy. So what I've done, I've moulded some thermoplastic. It's the stuff you get in granules, and I just moulded that into there because it's about the right diameter, 30mm, which is what I want. So I'm going to machine this up. I'm going to drill a hole in it the size of the piston, which is here, and then obviously trim it down to the thickness I want, and hopefully that might do the trick. So let's see if I can just show you the bits as they came out. Hang on, I'll have to put it on a tripod, I think. Okay, so let's have a little look at the parts. I'll show you how it all came apart. That's the piston. It goes down in the hole. That was the O-ring that came out, which I don't know if it's bust or whether it's like mine. I've made it and the glue's come apart, I don't know. Then we've got that screws down on top and compresses it all up. And this stuff, I've salvaged some of it. I've salvaged it to take it to the bearing place. But I don't know what it is. It's so brittle. It's gone like, well, I don't know what to do. It's just falling apart. It just crumbles. The whole lot's just crumbled. So as I took it all apart, there's me thinking I'd just be able to take it apart, put it back together again to keep it going. It just fell to a million pieces. So, chuck that. So let's see what we can do. I'm going to take this over and drill it, face it up, see if I can get that right, and then try some of these O-rings around the piston. So let's get this machined up first. Okay, so I put it back in and I want to try and part it off at the right thickness, but I'm not sure if this is going to work, so keep your fingers crossed. Don't know whether it's worked or not because it's melted it and spread it, which is a bit of a pain. So I might have to just clean that up by hand. So anyway, let's see. Okay, so I've got a little tiny piece of some really fine grit paper. I'm just going to take off all the rough edges and try to just smooth it out a bit. And then we'll see if it'll fit. Looks better. It's a bit messy, mucky, but it's better. So let's see if it'll work. Right, let's see what we can do. That fits over there nicely. This is one of the O-rings. I think that's the smallest one I've got. That's it. I'm going to push all that down. So what can we find to push that down with? Let's see what we can find. There we go. Let's give that a bit of a wipe. That's exactly what was happening before. It was pouring oil out every time I gave it a stroke of the piston. I'm hoping that once I get the collar on the top, that will push that down, open out the O-ring. I hope. Let's get some more. I say, this is all a bit of a bodge really, but I just need to get this job finished. It's dragging on. I haven't got any proper pliers to pull this down with, so I ought to make something to push that round with. I'm not even sure which way round this goes because the slot is bigger one way than the other, closer one edge than the other. I really ought to find that out before I tighten it down, I think. So let's just have a little look. Let's see, that comes up a bit. Where's the roll pin? I'm missing a pin that goes through there. Oh, there it is. And of course that won't go through there now either. I must admit I did have to persuade it out. Doesn't appear to be any damage. Anyway, let's just see if I can work this out. I don't know, I think I can figure that out once I've stopped the oil leak. That's if it will. So let's see if I can find myself something to tighten that up with. Okay, so I can't find a proper tool, and it's going to take me too long to make something, so I'm just going to tap it round. I don't know how tight this can go. Oh, well, it's made that piston go tight. Maybe that's got it. I don't know. Either that or it's... yeah, it's certainly tightened up on the piston. Let's see if we can just put it back together temporarily just to see what happens. Little circlip back on the end. Actually no, I won't, because if I'm going to do this temporarily, I'll leave it off for the time being. Now, do you know what, I think that piston's got to go the other way around, because there's a, yeah, it's got to go the other way around. Typical, isn't it? So, let's turn that round. Let's see how it looks now. That looks better. That one back in there. Look at that. I reckon I fixed it. Well, what a result. Let's just put this circlip back on and we'll give it a proper try. As if I don't lose the circlip, of course. There we go, that's on. Let's tighten that nut back up as well. Right, give it a nice wipe down, get rid of all the oil. When I was pumping that before, that was just spurting out. So even if it only lasts for another 16 bends, which is what I've got to do, then that'll be a result. Because hopefully by then, Germany will have been back from Corpus Christi. They will have answered my email, told me where I can get the parts. If I'd had a 3D printer, I could have printed that little bit of what's it there, but I haven't. So that's going to be the next on my shopping list, I think. Right, let's clear the bench. I'll get the camera out of the way and we'll see if it's working. Okay, let's give it a go. I've got all my bits cut. Now I've got some marks penciled onto the die. I was using this for something else yesterday. And that's actually gone a little bit too far. So that one should be okay. Hammer. A bit tight in the die. Check it against the pattern, which, yeah, as I say, was too far, so I'm going to go and pull that out and then I'll be back. Okay, so all I've done is I've just stuck it under the fly press and pushed it out a little bit. It only had to come out of gnats. So that now matches the pattern. I'll just put a little pencil mark where I want the next bend. Actually, make that a bit clearer. That's got to line up now with the centre of the die. Slack. Make sure it's running true on that direction. Actually, it's a bit tight. I can't move that. Where's my hammer? That's it. Both running true. Again, this one wants to go less than the first one. I've got a mark on there. One more on it. That's it. Yep. Should be it. Second bend, check it on the pattern. Oh yes. Now all I've got to do is the rest of these. I've got another 7 to do, and I shall weld them, 4 of them together at a time, and cut them at the right angles on the bandsaw. It's working. I'm really pleased with that. As I say before, that was pouring oil out. If I'd carried on doing all of these, I would have run out of oil. So there's a tiny amount there, but I don't know how much of that is just sort of the stuff that was already there. As I say, I'm going to get this job done, which will be a treat. Get it finished. Right, so before I get you all commenting, what's the job for, what's the job for, I better go and show you. Come outside. Those are the legs. I've got 3 of these to make, and as you can see I only managed to get one lot done before the machine packed up. There you go. Thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one.